Welcome to our module on mergers, acquisitions, and corporate restructuring, fascinating topics in the world of finance. These are strategic moves that completely reshape companies and even entire industries, impacting their future significantly. Let's start by clearly defining what mergers and acquisitions, often called M&A, actually mean. M&A are strategic financial transactions. A merger combines two companies into one new entity, while an acquisition is one company purchasing another to gain control. Now, let's explore the 5 key types of mergers, each designed for specific growth and competitive advantages. These different combinations allow companies to grow, expand, and gain a competitive edge in various ways. First, we have a horizontal merger, where two companies in the same industry combine to reduce competition. For example, two car manufacturers merging would be a classic horizontal merger scenario. Next, a vertical merger involves a company merging with either a supplier or a distributor in its own supply chain. Think of a car manufacturer buying a tire company, integrating its supply chain more deeply. Then, a conglomerate merger happens when companies from entirely different industries merge for diversification. Imagine a food company merging with an electronics firm. That's diversification at its core. A market extension merger occurs when companies in the same industry but different geographic markets combine. This allows a company to expand its reach into new territories, growing its market presence. Finally, a product extension merger involves companies combining to expand their product offerings in the same market. For instance, a software company acquiring another to add new features or applications to its existing portfolio. Moving on, let's look at 5 common acquisition strategies, which describe different approaches to gaining control. These strategies range from cooperative agreements to more aggressive takeovers, each with distinct implications. A friendly acquisition is when the acquired company's management and board agree to the takeover terms. This is often a mutually beneficial agreement, leading to a smoother transition for both parties. In contrast, a hostile takeover occurs when the acquiring company forces the takeover against the target management's will. This can involve directly appealing to shareholders or by acquiring a significant stake without board approval. A reverse merger involves a private company acquiring a public company, often to bypass the traditional IPO process. It's a faster way for a private company to become publicly traded, gaining access to capital markets. Next, an asset acquisition is when one company purchases specific assets of another, rather than its entire shares. This allows the buyer to select only the valuable parts, like patents or property, without taking on all liabilities. Lastly, a stock purchase involves one company buying a majority of another company's shares to gain full control. This gives the acquiring company ownership and decision-making power over the target firm. It's important to understand the key differences in mergers and acquisitions, as they lead to distinct outcomes. While often used interchangeably, these terms have clear distinctions in their structure and results. In a merger, two companies combine their operations to form a brand new, single entity. There's typically shared control and leadership between the previously separate merging companies. A new legal company is almost always formed, often with a new name and structure. Mergers often result in a larger market share and significant synergy benefits for the combined entity. Conversely, in an acquisition, one company takes direct control and ownership of another existing company. The acquiring company gains full control over the target's operations, assets, and liabilities. The acquired company may or may not retain its original identity, sometimes becoming a subsidiary or brand. Acquisitions can be very expensive, often requiring significant financing and strategic planning. Before any major deal, due diligence is crucial. Let's look at the 5 essential steps involved. This thorough investigation is vital for making informed decisions and mitigating risks before finalizing the deal. The first step is a preliminary assessment, where you request key financial and legal documents for initial review. This provides a foundational understanding of the target company's current state and operations. Next, we conduct a financial and tax analysis to evaluate stability, revenue consistency, and tax compliance. This deep dive ensures the financial health and future projections are sound and reliable. Then comes the legal and compliance review, examining regulatory issues, contracts, IP, and potential lawsuits. Understanding the legal landscape helps identify any potential liabilities or compliance risks. Following that is the operational and HR review, assessing business processes, supply chain, workforce, and IT. This step ensures the operational efficiency and human capital align with the acquisition's goals. Finally, a strategic analysis determines if the acquisition truly aligns with the acquiring company's long-term goals. This critical step ensures the deal makes strategic sense for future market position and growth. Today, we'll explore the core pillars of due diligence, which are essential for any successful merger or acquisition. These pillars ensure a truly comprehensive review during the M&A process, leaving no stone unturned. First, we have financial due diligence, a critical step in understanding the target company's books. This evaluates the target's economic health, scrutinizing revenues, expenses, and all outstanding debt. Next, legal due diligence is crucial to uncover any potential legal issues or liabilities. It identifies legal risks, examines intellectual property, and reviews all contractual obligations carefully. Operational due diligence focuses on how the company actually runs its day-to-day business. Here, we assess the efficiency of business operations and the robustness of its IT infrastructure. Tax due diligence is vital to understand the target company's tax position and liabilities. This involves analyzing tax compliance, existing liabilities, and any potential future tax risks. Finally, strategic due diligence helps us understand the bigger picture and future potential. It evaluates alignment with the acquiring company's goals and the target's market position. Now, let's explore the various M&A evaluation methods used to determine a company's worth. These methods are essential for accurately determining the true worth of a company before acquisition. First, we have comparable company analysis, a widely used method in financial valuation. This method compares the target company with similar publicly traded companies within its industry. Next, precedent transaction analysis looks at past deals to gauge a company's value. It compares the target company with similar M&A deals that have occurred in the past. The discounted cash flow, or DCF, is a fundamental method for intrinsic valuation. This calculates the present value of a company's projected future cash flows using a discount rate. Asset-based valuation is another approach, focusing on the underlying assets of a business. It values a company primarily based on its tangible and intangible assets, like property or patents. Finally, earnings multiples provide a quick way to estimate value based on profitability. This uses a multiple of earnings, such as the P/E ratio or EV/EBITDA, to estimate valuation. Let's now discuss the key M&A financing strategies available for funding an acquisition. Choosing the right funding approach is crucial for the success and financial health of your deal. First, we have cash transactions, which are straightforward but require significant liquidity. Here, the acquiring company pays cash upfront to completely purchase the target firm. This is a simple, quick transaction with no share dilution, which can be appealing. However, it requires large cash reserves and can significantly reduce the acquirer's liquidity. Next, we examine stock-for-stock transactions, where shares are exchanged instead of cash. The acquiring company offers its own shares as payment to purchase the target company. This involves no immediate cash outflow and can align the interests of both companies, but it can dilute existing shares and is subject to the acquiring company's stock price fluctuations. Now, let's look at the 5 crucial steps for successful post-merger integration. These steps guide us from initial planning all the way to realizing the expected synergies. The first step is developing a clear integration plan, setting the foundation for success. You must develop clear goals, timelines, and define leadership roles for the entire integration process. Next is cultural alignment, bringing together 2 different organizational cultures effectively. Create a unified culture through clear communication and engaging employee programs for a smooth transition. Then, we need to optimize IT and operations to achieve maximum efficiency post-merger. Standardize technology platforms, supply chains, and business processes to boost overall efficiency. Customer retention is vital to ensure that you don't lose valuable clients during the transition. Maintain consistent brand, messaging, and proactively address customer concerns to prevent churn. Finally, the goal is to achieve synergies, making the combined entity more valuable. Realize cost savings and revenue growth through smart financial restructuring and innovation. Let's quickly summarize the key takeaways from our discussion on mergers and acquisitions. These are the essential points you should remember about M&A for future reference. Remember, M&A involves combining or acquiring companies to expand market share and profitability. We learned about different merger types, like horizontal and vertical, and acquisition types. Due diligence is critical for identifying and mitigating financial, legal, and operational risks. Valuation methods, such as DCF and comparable analysis, determine a company's fair worth. Financing options can include cash, stock, debt, or a combination of these hybrid approaches. Successful post-merger integration, or PMI, is crucial for achieving all expected synergies.